down with the right cross.
He out of there, bro.
And there he's got him hurt again, and that's it. That's it. What a show by Hamza Sheeraz. Wow. Standing.
Derrick the Beast Lewis. What's going on, my MMA Boxing Addicts channel? It is a goddamn good Sunday morning. We're coming off arguably one of the best fighting weekends that we've had all year. UFC Nashville lived up to the hype, my friends. You had Derrick Lewis go in there, get the TKO stoppage over Taliesin Cesaro, and I'm gonna tell you guys, it was controversial. At least not on this channel, but there's a lot of people that are calling in early stoppage. We are gonna show you the video on that in a little bit and break down why I think it was a good stoppage, my friends. Then we're going to be breaking down William Zepeda versus Shakur Stevenson, one of the best fights of the year, an absolute classic of a fight, my friends. And hey, Edgar Berlanga getting TKO stopped in round 5 versus Hamza Sheeraz. Guys, that card arguably was probably one of the best cards of the year, my people, from top to bottom. Absolutely fantastic night we had. Let's break down UFC Nashville as we begin this, my friends. And hey, Derrick Lewis goes in there against Taliesin Cesaro as the underdog, my friends. When Taliesin Cesaro only has one UFC fight, also a Dana White Contender Series fighter, comes in here and never even been to the second round. You guys, comes in here against Derrick Lewis and gets rocked, my people. He gets absolutely rocked. Derrick Lewis does this thing, hooks for days. Boom, boom, boom. Drops Taliesin Cesaro. Cesaro's on the floor trying to scramble, trying to get up. This is where the controversy happens as Derrick Lewis drops him. Taliesin Cesaro scrambling on the floor. It looks like he's out, but at the same time, he's still moving. He starts to work himself back up the cage, but guess what he does? He grabs the UFC cage with both hands, like he's climbing a goddamn mountain or climbing the goddamn ladder, my friends, and just holds on for dear life, pulls himself back up as Derrick Lewis is trying to bomb on him, my friends, and the referee steps in and stops it. And I absolutely agree with him. You guys, never in a UFC cage can you ever grab the goddamn fence, my people. That is an illegal move. Guys get their points taken away. Guys get positions moved because of that, my friends. You've seen in this instance, Taliesin was pulling it so goddamn hard to be able to get up after that knockdown, my friends. The ref says, hey, it's over. It's over. And I completely agree with that. Don't be grabbing the cage after you get dropped in a fight, my friends. It makes it look bad. It's an illegal move. Derrick Lewis got the goddamn victory, and that's what I'm talking about, my friends. He calls out Waldo Cortez next. Nah, hey, that's a stylistically dangerous matchup for Derrick Lewis because Waldo Cortez is absolutely fantastic at fighting from the outside and using that jab. But Derrick Lewis has fought every single type of fighter. He has all the experience in the world. One punch can put your lights out. Waldo can be hit, my friends. I love that call out, and I would love to see that fight, my friends. Shout out to Derrick Lewis for giving us an exciting main event in UFC Nashville. It was an absolutely great card. You had Gabriel Bonfim just hold your boy Stephen Wonderboy Thompson up against the cage. Hey, you guys, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson won that goddamn fight. Now, I know the control time was in Gabriel Bonfim's favor, but it depends on how you judge fights. I see people saying that Gabriel Bonfim should have won the fight. I see people saying Stephen Wonderboy Thompson won that fight, my people. You guys, the judging, when it comes to control time, and it comes to damage up against the cage, and it comes to effective shots, my friends, they need to do a checkup on this because Stephen Wonderboy Thompson won that fight. But shout out to Gabriel Bonfim for getting the win. That one was going down in the co-main event. You guys, you had Fatima Klein in the prelims get the TKO stoppage in round 3 with a head kick over Melissa Martinez. You had Mike Davis come in here in round 2, finish your boy Mitch Ramirez, you guys, which was supposed to happen in that fight. You also had Victor Petrino come in here and get the submission in round 1, his first fight in the heavyweight division. You had Lauren Murphy retiring, my people, after 15 years in MMA, after 10 years in UFC. Now, I see people going around and saying, did you cry? Did you cry? Guys, I didn't cry for Lauren Murphy. It wasn't that sad to me, to be honest. They didn't even play a video for her as she retired, as they usually do for people who retired, my friends. But hey, it is what it is, my guys. It was an absolute fantastic fight. And what about Walter Walker? We can't forget about Walter Walker, the younger brother of Johnny Walker, the Brazilian Russian, came in here, my friends, and gets another heel hook. That's 3 heel hooks in a goddamn row, my people. Are you kidding me? I mean, come on. You come in here against Junior Tafa. By the way, Junior Tafa was making his light heavyweight debut. Here's a before picture of him and an after picture of him. He lost a bunch of weight. My boy got a 6-pack. He thought he was going to come in here and get it done, but Turquoise just ruined it for him. Guys, Junior Tafa needs to work on his wrestling, man. I'm telling you guys right now, dude. That is his biggest flaw. If he gets taken down and he cannot get up and he don't work on his submission games, it ain't ever going to change. It don't matter what weight you fight at, my people. But like I was saying, Walter Walker, for him to do this to Kennedy, I get it. We knew the game plan was to come in here, get the takedown, especially with a striker like Kennedy, my friends. Hey, Kennedy doesn't have the thickest legs. He has skinny ankles. He is coming from the light heavyweight division, moving up to the heavyweight division, right? You guys, Walter Walker, to be able to do this to Junior Tafa, Dante and Mays, and now Kennedy, the heel hook is an absolute threat, my people. I've never in my life seen a heavyweight get 3 heel hooks in a row. He's a goddamn threat. You guys, don't let him grab your ankles. Don't let him grab your legs, because the heel hook from Walter Walker is amazing. It's sensational. It is sensational what is going down with Walter Walker and his submission game in the UFC, my people. To see that, a 3rd heel hook in a row, a 3rd heel hook, my people, absolutely ridiculous. I'm just so glad that Derrick Lewis got the win. We were rooting for him to win over Talented Teixeira. Like I said, it was an absolutely fantastic night at UFC Nashville. At the end of it, you had Dana White at the post-press conference. And one thing that I wanted to talk about, you had somebody ask Dana White if he had ever donated money to Ben Askren and the family due to what was going on with Ben Askren and his double lung transplant. Well,
so the question is, did UFC support him, or are you planning to support him in any way in his recovery?
Ben Askren?
Yeah.
Do you have plans to support him, or have you supported him so far in his aid to recovery?
Yeah.
What do you mean by support him?
Maybe financially, or...
Yeah, I usually don't talk about that stuff, but yes, I did. I did, and yeah.
I've seen a lot of people shitting on Dana White, saying you're able to give money to the NAF bros. You're able to give all this money away to every single body else, but you can't help Ben Askren. Well, guess what, my friends? You're mistaken. Dana White at the post-press conference, I got the video for you here.
Lots of news about Ben Askren. So the question is, did UFC support him, or are you planning to support him in any way in his recovery?
Ben Askren?
Yeah.
Do you have plans to support him, or have you supported him so far in his aid to recovery?
Yeah.
What do you mean by support him?
Maybe financially, or...
Yeah, I usually don't talk about that stuff, but yes, I did.
He explains how he feels he doesn't even need to tell nobody about this. It was swept under the rug where he gave the money to Ben Askren. He doesn't need to come out here and get clout and try to look for clout and make himself look like a good person in the UFC, like a good person. My friends, this whole time, anybody that was sending criticism towards Dana White is completely wrong. Dana White is a goddamn good person. He got it done. He gave Ben Askren and his family some money, my friends. Ben Askren survived. We reacted to that already, you guys. We dropped that breaking news video, and I'm absolutely just so happy to see Ben Askren alive. Everything's going good. His family, everybody, baby, hey. Absolutely amazing stuff, you guys. And that's not it with UFC. One thing more that I wanted to talk about that I wasn't able to drop the breaking news video during the week because we were busy with Pro Box TV and everything that was going on with that. You guys, UFC Noche has officially got a Mexican as your main event, my friends. You guys know this was supposed to be a pay-per-view fight card taking place in Guadalajara. Everything got switched because Dana White and his involvement in the Terrence Bud Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez card, right? UFC Noche was switched to San Antonio, Texas. UFC Fight Night Now, non-pay-per-view. Well, guess what? On September 13th, the goddamn same day as Terrence Bud Crawford versus Canelo, which is going to be an early card, so that way we're able to watch the boxing card, we got ourselves a main event. It is the 3rd fight between Brandon Moreno versus Brandon Royval, who's coming off that loss to Joshua Van. Now, guys, I know this is the third time that we've seen them fight, and most of you people, especially if you're not Mexican, you do not want to see this and you're not satisfied. Well, let me tell you, Brandon Moreno won the first one off of an injury. Brandon Royval won the second fight. You guys, this is huge stuff for Brandon Royval to be able to get his get back against a guy like Brandon Royval on Mexican Independence Day week, my friends. He has a shot at UFC Noche in San Antonio, Texas, where we know for a fact most of the fans are going to be Raza, my people. You guys, this is breaking news, especially coming off, they had released Diego Lopez and Gene Silva were going to be the main event for that fight, which I thought was, whoa. This is supposed to be a dedicated to Mexicans, and it's supposed to be a dedication to the Latino heritage. Well, Diego Lopez, he ain't from Mexico, but he does represent him, so I was considering that a go. You got Gene Silva, who is Brazilian, my friends. We love our Brazilian gente over there, my people. It's going to be an exciting card. But the addition with Brandon Moreno and Brandon Royval, my friends, absolutely amazing addition to UFC Noche. And when it comes to UFC, we're getting great moves, my people. Now, let's talk about that goddamn boxing card that took place in New York, the hometown of Edgar Berlanga. First I got to show you guys of Oscar celebrating last night. You guys, check it out. And Fernando Vargas Jr.
Oh my God. Sheeraz, congratulations. Berlanga. Oh my God, you got knocked out. Oh my God. Oh, something Canelo Alvarez couldn't do.
Now, the first thing that I want to start off when talking about this, you guys, is, before everybody, and I've already seen everybody absolutely ridiculing Edgar Berlanga, this and that, before everybody carries on with just trying to comment on every single one of Edgar Berlanga's old videos, leaving the most rudest comments and all this and that, I understand that he kind of put himself in this position by talking about Oscar De La Hoya, by bringing out the panties, by bringing out the heels, by being the aggressive person that he was towards Sheeraz, all the confidence that he had. It was bound to come back to him for not being humble. But, you guys, this is also a problem that we have when it comes to boxing, and why some boxers, have a problem with putting on amazing fights for their fans. Berlanga went in there and fought with Sheeraz. He went in there, and even though he got TKO'd in round 5, dropped 3 different times, you guys, and honestly, did get a little embarrassed, just everything that's going down with Oscar De La Hoya and all that and that, my friends. Let's give Edgar Berlanga his flowers. It was a goddamn war. Edgar wasn't backing up from anybody. He went in there, stood 10 toes deep, my friends, and swung with Sheeraz. Not everybody's going to win every single fight, my friends. We see it in the UFC all the time. Guys are losing. That does not mean it's the end of the world. That doesn't mean that every single media outlet needs to come out here and just completely erase Edgar Berlanga like he's a goddamn joke, my friends. I wasn't expecting much anyways. I thought he was going to win that fight versus Sheeraz. But when you look at Edgar's resume, before he fought Canelo, who did he fight? Huh? All those first round KOs and everything, you guys, this is promotions. They get built like that in the beginning of their careers, my people. It was a fantastic card. Shout out to Sheeraz. Oscar De La Hoya, I believe, won this battle when it comes to Edgar Berlanga. I think Edgar Berlanga got beat up really bad. Let's see what he has to come out and say. Let's see what all the funk that's going to go on between them. I think Oscar, even Fernando Vargas Jr. hopping in on this. I think they need to relax, man. I think it's time to relax. I think if you're out here and you're still talking shit, I get it. My Mexican people, everybody that was going up against Edgar Berlanga, I get it, man. But let's give Edgar his flowers. You know what I mean? Let's respect these fighters for who they are, for what they do in the ring, win or lose, my friends. And speaking of that, let's go into the Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda fight. Another fight, and just two goddamn fighters that I want to say on this channel right now have my complete 100% respect for. We always had respect for Shakur Stevenson. We always said he was never a runner. He never ran against Oscar Valdez. He never ran against Jamal Herring. He never ran against Artem. He didn't run against Padley. He didn't run against Yoshino. The list goes on and on and on, my friends. Shakur Stevenson told you guys. He told everybody he was going to come in there, fight in the pocket, and hold it down. Guys, it was an absolute war, a classic of a fight. You had Zepeda having success. You had Shakur having success. Shakur staying on the ropes, trying to use that Floyd Mayweather shoulder roll. It ain't there yet, but give him 3 more years, you guys, and I think he's going to end up mastering that at times in the fight. Shakur Stevenson started realizing that he couldn't put his back up against the ropes because he was getting hit with a couple shots and those little tip-tap jabs to the body. William Zepeda was doing a fantastic job of exposing that, which forced Shakur Stevenson to start fighting in the pocket. Once that happened, my friends, Shakur Stevenson, beautiful, beautiful display of hitting and not getting hit, my friends. It looked like Hitchens versus Kambosos Jr. Kambosos Jr. landed a couple shots on Hitchens, but Hitchens looked absolutely amazing fighting in the pocket. That's what happens when you stand there and fight in the pocket. It was the most damage that Shakur Stevenson has ever taken. I understand that, but that is what's going to happen when you fight fire with fire. Look at Inoue. Look at Inoue just getting dropped in his last fight and coming back with fire. You guys, being great is not about having an undefeated record, about looking pretty in the ring and not getting hit. Being great is about getting fans to rave about your fight, calling it a classic of all time, having fans just feel like they paid their money and we got our money's worth, my friends. That is what we got when it came to Shakur Stevenson and William Zepeda, my friends. Hey, shout out to both fighters, and I cannot wait for both fighters to return. I don't think neither of their stock drops. I don't think Zepeda's stock drops, and I don't think Shakur Stevenson's stock drops. And I'm interested as hell now to see Floyd Schofield. As you guys know, he's already dropping tweets to fight Shakur Stevenson, my friends. Hey, man, I know Floyd Schofield was watching that fight last night thinking, woo-wee. Anyways, I feel like Shakur Stevenson still goes in there and gets it done versus Floyd Schofield. We see, hey, I still want to see Floyd Schofield and Abdul Mason before we get to Shakur Stevenson. Floyd, where are those other rounds at? We've seen the sparring footage. It looks like you got dominated by Abdul Mason. I want to see those other rounds, whether or not you're capping or not, my friends. I don't think he's ready for Shakur, but if it happens, Turkey wants to set it up. Let's get it on, man. I know Shakur ain't running from nobody, you guys. Hey, the card was absolutely fantastic. I thought we had 2 robberies. I thought David Morrell Jr. getting dropped, getting outboxed, getting rocked a couple times. I thought Imam Kadaviev won that fight. I thought Imam did it. I thought the judges robbed him. I thought, if anything, you could have gave David Morrell a draw at the worst. And that's being a biased judge saying, you know what, I'm looking for some type of way to give David Morrell Jr. this fight. Okay, we're going to make round 10 a 10-8 round just to be able to give him that extra point. That's a biased judge, you guys. Imam won that fight. I text him on Instagram after, you know, we text him. He's a great, great man. He was going to give us the interview, but he doesn't speak the best Russian. We're still in talks. He always replies, hey, I love Imam. For him to go in there against David Morrell, have that performance, but not get the dub, you guys. Hey, it's heartbreaking, but at the same time, I don't think the stock drops for Imam Kadaviev anyway. If anything, he proved to the world just how dangerous of a fighter he is, man. And I don't know if David Benavidez is going to want it, even though I think David Benavidez beats a guy like this guy. Guys, it was a fantastic fight, my fans. Hey, I thought Imam got it. And then Sabril Matias and Abueto Pueblo. I mean, come on, dude. Dominica versus Puerto Rico. Absolutely fantastic fight. I thought Abueto Pueblo won that fight, my people. It's kind of weird that we had 2 robberies, Abueto Pueblo, Sabril Matias, right? And then you had Imam lose to David Morrell. And then Turkey got what he wanted with Shakur and Sheeraz. You remember he dropped that tweet a while back saying that he'll be pissed off, his plans of ruin, my friends. Hey, it's a little fishy, but I'm not going to sit here and pull that and be that type of guy right now, my friends. Hey, Sabril Matias goes in there, wins the WBC junior welterweight title, my friends, over Abueto Pueblo, takes his title, and in a fight where Sabril Matias, if you want to give him that fight, you're giving it off of effective aggression. He came in there, was putting the pressure, was putting Abueto Pueblo against the ropes, landing little bitty punches. They didn't have power on them. I know this. People talk about the power of Sabril Matias, but in that fight, the power was not there, my friends. Hey, Sabril Matias, man, he needs to learn how to move his goddamn head. I know Puerto Rican fans love this man, but if you are a true lover of Sabril Matias, you might be calling for his retirement already. The amount of times that Sabril Matias gets hit in the head, don't get me wrong, and he has a bright future ahead of him. He's going to make tons of money. He's the champion now, my friends. But the amount of times Sabril Matias gets hit in the head, if you really love Sabril Matias, you're hoping that he starts to fix his defense. Because, God damn, man, I'm scared to see how he's going to end up when he's 50 years old, getting hit in the head as many times as he does, my friends. I thought Abuelo Pueblo won that fight. I thought he did a good job of boxing around the ring, landing his looks, landing his jabs, even stepping on his own, even pushing down on his own feet and landing his own great hooks, my friends. It was a fantastic fight. I'm not going to sit here and complain that much about the Abuelo Pueblo versus Sabril Matias fight. At the end of the day, I like both fighters. It was a fantastic fight. The whole goddamn card was exciting, you guys. We're heading into Daniel Dubois versus Alexander Usyk #2, along with Dustin Poirier versus Max Blast Holloway in the BMF title fight pay-per-view. Now, I know there's a lot of mixed feelings about UFC 318. You know, the co-main event being Roman Kopylov and Paul Costa, two fighters who aren't even, I don't even think, top 10 opponents, my fighters. When you look at that whole main event, main card, my friends, there's not that many ranked top 5 opponents in there until you go to the main event. But it doesn't matter. I'm a UFC lover. I'm a boxing lover. I see Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway in Dustin Poirier's retiring fight, my people, in his last goddamn fight ever. Make that the only fight. I'm paying $100 pay-per-view. Let's go, my people. This is the MMA Boxing Addict channel. I can't wait for the goddamn week we're heading into. Some more breaking news going to be coming into your way, guys. Like and subscribe if you guys are new. And I'm out, man.